Once your ag agent has helped you to identify what's toxic in your field, they have flyers on the bulk of those plants that are common to you that will contain really important information such as degree of toxicity, because toxicity is a relative thing. There are things that they would have to eat a lot of to be in trouble, and things that a very small amount will cause a problem. And so now I'm going to go back to comparing when we lived in Kentucky to where we are now in Michigan. Milkweed, which is extremely important to the monarchs, so we protect, we're now starting to plant in specific spots that we can keep them out of. It is toxic to goats. You're not going to want to eradicate every last thing that is toxic to your goats. Instead, you're going to want to be able to manage it in a grazing system. That's where it gets to be a bit of a dance. We had poison hemlock in Kentucky. Goats have a prehensile lip, and they'll go around and mess with everything because it's like our thumb and fingers, and they're just playing. So people who don't know goats think that they eat everything. They're actually the pickiest eaters on a farm that I have encountered yet, but they will mess with absolutely everything. When they do that with a toxic plant, the majority of toxic plants leave a funny feeling on their lips, and they will not touch it again. So it's a part of what protects them. And if they have hay in the barn, a good source of grain, so their body condition score is good, and they're not too heavily stocked into a field. So if they're shoulder to shoulder, they'll eat anything because they're racing each other. If you avoid those things, so we always keep free choice hay available, we always feed grain, they always have salt, and they're never too densely packed in a field, they have avoided the truly toxic stuff. And when they come out of a field, so they're in there for 1 to 3 days, depending on weather conditions, when they come out of the field, I go through and mark the toxic plants that are left, and we often use the flamer right after a rain or something similar to hit those plants and try to take them down if we genuinely want them out. This is just an introduction, but an example of how this is a bit of a dance between keeping nutrition for other species you might have and paying attention to what's genuinely toxic. So the milkweed, back to that, they won't truly avoid it because it's not giving them that funny feeling. It's also not killing any of the goats, but we literally had to eventually we were waiting for them to get it and stop messing with it, and they just kept getting diarrhea. We eventually had to move them off of the fields, and now we're moving that to other places.